Alright, what is up everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video. We're back in Winland, the Challenge Park, and we're going to be working, of course, more on our coaster over here that we've been working on the last few episodes. We still have a lot of work to do, so we're going to get into working on that once more because this project is very huge and it is obviously going to be taking us quite some time to complete. So that being said, we're going to have to get into it pretty quick.
Launch.
We got our... What's going around there? It's very bare still, so I think in this episode today, we might actually get started on the second tunnel towards the end of the ride. So we at least get it started, and then maybe like fill in a lot of stuff right here. A lot of this part of the ride isn't going to be like super themed or anything. I'm thinking about just doing a lot of foliage and some like nice scenery and foliage around it, and then the most themed areas are going to be here, and then of course we'll theme a little bit of the tunnel, probably a bit, and once we hit the brake run. So lots to cover there, and then of course I do want to have some really a really nice sort of observation area, kind of expanding out over in this direction, so guests can kind of have a nice little bit of a good view of the first launch and everything like that. So that's basically where that is going to go, and we'll do some really cool things there. I got a lot of decorating to do and stuff for the station and queue. It is very, very much in those empty, or those very early stages still, so yeah, I can't wait to get this done. I don't know how many episodes it's going to take. We're going to do as many as we need to get this open, and I'm sure it'll be a big hit with our guests. Just to kind of go over some of the stats with you, because I'm not sure if I've shown them off before. Track length is 4,020 feet, which is pretty good. 54 miles an hour, average speed of 25 miles an hour. Biggest drop's only 37 feet. And get all the G-forces, and then apparently we don't have much airtime, but I always thought that was kind of broken to begin with in Planet Coaster. So we are a little bit over 2 minutes long, very close to 3 minutes, pretty much 3 minutes long, but so it's a pretty nice long ride too. All things considered. So, of course, we have that little bit of a show scene that is going to be kind of cool right before you go on the first launch, which we have not really done much on. We did kind of like the section, or the transfer track rather, and themed that up a little bit. So that's pretty cool. We have our catwalks on that as well. But we can kind of look here, and you can see we have a little rough start to this. Month is going a little bit rough. Shops and facilities are randomly in the negative. It is very interesting. I've never understood how shops and facilities really work in the game consistently, because some months they'll be positive, some months they will do absolutely completely awful, and I'm not entirely sure what the deal is with that. So a lot of shops do well, a lot of shops don't do well. Maybe it's because we have the churro stand open, but a lot of these shops on the positive last month. Restaurant also on the positive still. But these ones are kind of hit or miss. So Cosmic Cow didn't do so well. That still was positive. This hat's fantastic was definitely very much positive. And then we have the shops in here as well, which haven't been doing great, but hopefully they'll do a little bit better future here. But yeah, so. But we have a lot of work to do, so I think what we're going to do is just kind of mainly do a lot of time-lapse for this episode. So just sit back, enjoy the show, and I will check in on you later. So let's get into the time-lapse. right, just an update here. So almost said upgrade, which I guess you could view it that way. But so yeah, we did a little bit work here. We got to a lot of foliage and scenery. We did start on our final tunnel here, which I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more theming here and there. But it's a good start. This one was a lot more quicker and easier than the first one, because there's a little bit more theming around the first one. And then we did a little bit of work here on the entrance and a little bit in the queue line as well. I'm not a very patient when it comes to like working on queue lines, so I'm doing a little bit at a time, so that way I don't have to do it all at once. But it's actually coming together quite nice. The tail end of this video, we might work a little bit on this queue as well, because it's very much untouched. And then of course the entrance, and we're going to add more and more stuff to these buildings as well, as we haven't added too much, but as you can see, we do have these little kaleidoscope pieces. I love these things. So kind of reminds me, Time Traveler at Silver City has one of these for their main sign. And you may have noticed, if you're paying attention to the video or the time lapse, that we do have our entrance sign here. Kind of get started. I'm going to add probably a little bit more to this, but it is indeed going to be called Steam Traveler, which I'm very excited for as well. As you can see, we are gaining a little bit of profit here. April didn't bode so well for us, but we got the profit here in May, so we're still doing okay on our funds. And I think funds are just going to go crazy once we do get this ride finished. But just adding a lot of foliage and scenery around the ride actually has made it look a lot more complete, I think, overall, and a lot less bare. So we also do need to get like a catwalk going on here. I'm thinking about making a custom one, but I'm not entirely sure just yet, or if I should just use a regular catwalk that it comes with. Not entirely positive just yet, but it is turning out pretty good. I think we're making some good progress, and of course we did work a little bit on the show scene right before you launch out of the building, so there's going to be a lot more to this as well. This is just the start of it. I'm just kind of going back and forth between a few things, because that's how I usually build, is that I'm just kind of a back and forther kind of person, that I will work on something in this area. I have like different sections that I work on, and just kind of rotate around those spots that I work on, and then you just kind of slowly see the whole project come together as a whole. And yeah, so it's coming together quite well. I think once we get the building kind of finished, or a little bit closer to finished, that things will start to wind down, and we'll get really close to finishing a lot of those things as well. So, but you can see the second launch here is which we didn't touch on yet. In this episode, we were more focused on this side of the ride, but it's looking pretty good. I do kind of want to update the parking lot at some point too. Add some plants and maybe some more lights and stuff. I just didn't have the funds when we initially did that, so we might do that, and we might add another expansion to the parking lot, maybe on this side potentially, and get some more parking there as the park grows, because the park is going to be growing throughout the series. So I'm not sure how big the park is going to be in the end, but we're really working on this steampunk section, and with Planet Coaster 2 just a few months away, I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see. And of course, I'll start probably a new series in Planet Coaster 2, depending on what is available in that game. So yeah, so everything's coming together quite nicely so far. I'm really liking how the track looks just in general with the theming, and we have a lot of theming elements throughout the ride as well. As you can see, like, I just love this tunnel section going into the second launch. I think it's looking really good, and this turnaround though is pretty cool. And I still want to add some more probably down the line as well. So, but all the turns and the coaster track looks fantastic, and I think I've accomplished quite a bit what I've wanted so far. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the last part of this time lapse. And before we do, let's go ahead and just check in on our shops. churros are still doing bad. However, they do a little bit better overall. So, and then this restaurant has always been doing good. It actually lost money last month. That's interesting. This Just a Memento is always good. This Pip Shot is good. These guys are hit or miss. That one's missed again. Just a Memento, that has fantastic goods. But you can see a majority of them, I think, are in the positive, and then we have our main street ones here, like Street Fox Coffee, which is in the negative at this point, which is not good. I still haven't reopened this one. I probably should, but we're going to try and get all of them operational at some point. But if we go down here, let's go ahead and check in on our pizza place. Oh, it's got a little bit of line. Not the worst. It did lose money, but it could be worse. And then this Just a Memento is not doing well at all, which is not very good for us. But maybe I'm going to hold out hope, just because if once this gets open, we might have more traffic of people coming this way, and they might be more inclined to visit those places as well. So as we get our second ride opened in this next section of the park. So anyways, enjoy the last part of the time lapse, and we'll be back shortly for the end. So here we go. All right, so I think that's what we're gonna about to get finished for today's episode. I think we got a good amount done. It's looking a lot more in the completed stages more than it is less complete. So we still have a lot to do. Don't get me wrong, but we got some good stuff done here today, and mainly just getting a lot of these queue line fences getting going and getting a lot of our queue line started, and then of course I did start a little bit on that brake run catwalk just to kind of get it at least started. And then of course we do have our little building here, exit building here, which I'm gonna need to start at least getting started on as well, because we do have quite a bit to do there. And then of course we got to connect all this together and make it look very, very nice. But I'm really just trying to kind of get the building as a whole kind of more complete and get everything else kind of going. So yeah, I think this episode was pretty progressive, or pretty good. We got a lot of progress done, so that is always a win. And when we come back, we're going to hopefully get even more done. I would hope so. But anyways, that's gonna about do it for this episode, guys. We're still doing good financially, so that was one kind of thing that I was kind of worried about. Would we run into any financial issues during construction? Which thankfully we have not yet so far. We've gone in the negative a few times, or a little bit at some points, but nothing too crazy overall. And yeah, so this is going to be pretty exciting for the next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe for more amazing content like this. Hit that join button if you want to support us even further, and also get access to these episodes early before anyone else, because members do get to see the videos early and can watch before anyone else. So if you are interested in that, hit that join button, and I will see you guys in the next episode. So have a great day and a cool tomorrow. Thanks, and goodbye.